Hello everyone, my name is Shivani Tyagi, your philosophy and ethics teacher. So we were discussing about Simone de Beauvoir and the topics were about the society and how they are treating women and how they are treating the motherhood. So till now we understood that how patriarchal society is moving forward with the term mother, and in her book The Second Sex, and we are discussing chapter the mother. So till now we understood that how society is treating the term mother and how they are romanticizing it, right? And how we are making basic definition of it and actually not taking care of individualism. Now what is individualism? Individualism is basically we are not understanding the factors of her, right? What she wants to become, what she want to do in her life, right? So on the basis of biological factor, on the basis of age, and on the basis of society norms, mother chapter is decided, right? This term is decided. So this is what she says. So till now we understood all these factors. Now let's understand contradictory fantasies of mother. So basically all mother have the idea, this I have explained to you also, that all other mother have the idea that this is how they are going to raise their kids. Now this is also differentiated into two terms. What are the two terms? That willingness, right? And the other is when you are actually under pressure, adapting this motherhood chapter. So under pressure, right? So it is very common and very understandable that if you are doing something with your willingness because you want to do, because you are actually putting all your efforts into it. Now if you're putting something, like if you're putting efforts into something, then there are higher chances that particular thing is going to come out very beautiful, right? And best, right? But if you are being pressurized, if you are pressurized to study, if you are pressurized to give this UPSC exam, if you are pressurized to do something which is against your willingness, then it's for sure, it's definitely that thing is not going to turn out good, right? So this is how mother is also treated. If they are being like with willingness, because they want to be a mother, because they think they are ready to be a mother, because they have this capacity, because they think that I want to give something to the society which can come out very beautifully, then for sure that baby is going to turn out into something very nice for the society, right? But when it comes to pressure, if women are being pressurized, if they are being forced to become a mother, then how they are going to come up with, then it is going to come up with bad, right? And this is the fear that they have. The fear is that it's giving birth to a cripple, a monster, because they know of full contingency of flesh, and this embryo who inhabits them is merely flesh. So this fear in them, thinking that what if this fetus turns out something evil for the society, if this fetus did something bad to the society, then this responsibility of hers, right? This responsibility where she raises a child, it turns out as a guilt, right? So this is the features that she talks about, the factors that she talks about. So basically she is susceptible to another ambivalence. The birth of children is the death of parents. So birth of children is the death of parents. How it is the death of parents? So this is a death of parents because once who was existing individually, right? The mother who was existing individually, who had dreams, who wanted to do something good for the society, who actually had something to, like something in her mind, right? She wanted to achieve something, but now she has only one identity. Now what that identity is? A mother, right? So it's like the death of the parents. So all those features that she had for herself are gone now, right? So this is what she talks about. Now let's understand mother-daughter dynamic. Now mother-daughter dynamic, both are positive and negative. How positive and negative? Now positive because a mother who faced societal norms, right? This growing up in a patriarchal society where she was forced to adopt certain rules. Now she want that her daughter is not forced to be that, right? Is not forced to follow certain norms and rules. So she raises her daughter in a way where she can be independent, right? Away from the society norms, right? But when it comes about negative, so there is another characteristic, another feature. What this feature is, that because mother faced certain things in the society, because she was forced to marry at certain age, because she was forced to follow the rules. Now she's actually implementing, she is dominating she is dominating her daughter to be that she was once, right? So this is the difference that she comes up with. She says the ambivalence is, the situation is, there is two choices that was given: a protection, right, which is positive aspects, and then there is domination, which is negative, right? So there is example like controlling mothers raising daughters to repeat same roles. So basically, I'm not saying that every mother is like that, but it's a psychological factor that she comes up with, which says that if a person is actually following the same rules, then those rules are implemented, and it can be seen in our culture also. We are following traditions which has no meaning, which are superstitious. There are beliefs which should be removed in the society, but we are still following them. Why we are following them? Because our elder thinks that these are the rules and regulations that we grew up with, so this should be passed on, right? And these rules and regulations is the example and is actually the reference which tells us about the motherhood also, because they also think that same, that the norms, the regulations, the restrictions, and all the things which actually happen to them, it should be passed on to their daughters, and they also should follow them. Understood? Now let's move with another factor that she talks about, which is immanence and transcendence. Now what is immanence? Immanence is passive existence, housework and childhood, which are basically, these are the rules and regulations that are implemented by the society on the motherhood, right? So basically transcendence is freedom. So she talks about that it is very important that a woman now in modern world, right, start raising her voice, start analyzing what she is going through, start accepting that she is the victim by the patriarchal society, and understand her rules and regulations. Like she talks about that illegal, abortion should be like demolished, and there should be like legal abortion which should be accepted, right? So she says that immanence, there should be like transformation of women from immanence to transcendence, and we should move towards the transcendence, right? So transcendence is active creation, freedom projects. Motherhood often traps women in immanence, so motherhood is a projection which is trapped there. You have to, like, I'm sure that you all must have heard this, that motherhood is a 24/7 job, right? My mother is very caring towards me, right? So my mother do my all household work. So this is something we are romanticizing, we are something making it general, and it should not be accepted by us. This is what Simone de Beauvoir says. She says that immanence, which is about doing all housework and child rearing, all the rules and regulations that society implemented on us, and it should be transferred to transcendence. They should move towards the freedom. They should understand that what they are going through is wrong, right? And they should raise their voice against that and should have freedom, right? Then we talks about critique of idealized motherhood. Like I said, we are romanticizing it, we are actually idolizing it, we are making it so like pure in our language, that de Beauvoir critiques the eternal feminine myth. This is a myth, right? So challenging maternal instinct as socially constructed encourage women to define themselves as beyond motherhood. She encourages other that there is more to you. Individualism is there, right? And you should understand this, that you are not born to be a mother. Now because you are 19, now because you are 18, you are not at an age to be a mother. Now because just you have a biological factor, right? Because of this factor you are implemented with these rules and regulations. So she says that you should raise voice towards it and move away from immanence and move towards the transcendence. Understood? Now by now we understood that what she wanted to say. So basically she raised voice against abortion, right? So she talked about abortion, and what did she say? She said that it should be legal, right? And then she says that idolizing motherhood, it should be removed, right? This is wrong. Then she says about patriarchal society, right? And also she says that how mother and daughter relationship are built and what those are built, right? So motherhood is not a biological fate, right? This is what she says. If a woman is 19 years old, then it doesn't mean she has to get married, right? Then we have, it is a complex socially constructed role. This is not something we are born with. This is not an innate idea. This is something that we are, grew up with because society tells us. It's like that society actually filling our head with it. And I just want to say in the end that men are also the victim of patriarchal society. Why they are victim of the patriarchal society? Because they are actually, I think they are the most victim of the patriarchal society, because patriarchy says that you have to be men, the men, a man who cannot cry, a man who has to do all the work, a man who is the machine to earn. So this is a patriarchal society where men are also kept with certain rules, with certain expectations. So they are also the victim. And who is doing all that? Men altogether. So they are constructing it. And even I think there are certain people who should raise voice against them. Women who are actually, going through this, like from the very beginning. I cannot even say, like from the starting, this human race even, I think, took birth. So with this, women must have the freedom to choose, right? If she wants to be a mother and she doesn't want to be a mother, it should be her choice, not by the society, not because of the biological factor, right? Then de Beauvoir's one is not born but rather becomes a woman. By choice, she should become a woman. She is not, you know, taking birth as like to be a mother, right? So this is what she says, that this is something which should be done on the basis of choices, not because she is actually born with ovaries and she has no choice in it. So this is what she says, that one is not born but rather becomes a woman from, like from inside she feels it, that yes, I'm finally ready to be a mother, I can raise a child who will be good to the society. Now this will change something in the society, that men she'll raise, that daughter she'll raise, she'll give good something good to the society, right? So let's do few questions, and I'll be giving one to you for your homework, and I hope that you'll reply to it. So according to Simone de Beauvoir, a society that limits women to motherhood based on biology supports which concepts? So basically it's transcendence, sorry, it's not transcendence, it's immanence. Transcendence is freedom, right? So it's immanence. So immanence are the rules and regulation that she actually has to like raise a child, she has to give a birth to a child, and all the household work that she has to do. So this is immanence, right? Transcendence is freedom, right? So all these, Simone de Beauvoir, a society that limits a woman, what limits a woman? Immanence, right? And this is what she says, that we should, especially like women should move from immanence to transcendence, right? This is what she asked to do women. Then what does Simone de Beauvoir says about motherhood in a patriarchal society? So it is always respect and paid work. It gives women complete freedom. Third is it is glorified to limit women. Ambitious, it is encouraged only in rural areas. For this is your homework, and I want answers in the comment section, and I hope that you'll be replying. So all the people who will be replying answer to this will get their name on the, like on the board in my next PPT, which I'll come up with. And mostly I'm covering Western philosophy, but if you feel that I should cover Indian philosophy too, then I want your answers in the comment sections. Thank you.